Good morning, it's me. I'm back. Happy World Card Making Day. I'm so happy to be here. I'm going to pull me up on the screen here so that I can see comments better. And I hope I have people joining me today to do some stamping with me. Okay, I have comments now. Hi Cindy, how are you? Did you grab all your stuff so that you can stamp with me? Oops, I put it down too far. People probably aren't ready to come on because I never get on early. I'm so glad that you're here. Hey, how are you feeling? Last time, I meant to message you a couple different times and then I forgot. And last time I talked to you, you said you were under the weather. So are you feeling better now? Sorry, I'm just looking at my stuff here a sec to see what I need to do. Oh, that was my last thing. The delay is always so much when on a Facebook Live. You're probably just waiting for me to answer, but I don't even see your comment yet. I can see 2 people are on with me. When you get on, tell me hi so that I can see that you're there, and so I know who I'm stamping with. I hope lots of people get on and do stamping. It's always fun. So, I showed you what I'm going to be using. I had fun making these cards actually, and I have one extra card that we can make, and there are still probably some scraps left when you're done, but I made a bunch of scraps from it. So is everybody still in bed? Good morning. Oh yay, Ruth and Sarah with me. Hello, how are you? I'm so glad that you're with me. So what designer paper did you ladies choose? Then you know that I'm going to want you to share your samples on Dazzled by Stamping Community, so then everybody can see what you did. But I like knowing what people are using. So I'm using Playing with Patterns. It is one of the designer papers that's on sale this month. There's a select, let's see, I counted them because I did a table, I guess we'll call it, of them. Oh, and Nadine's on too. Hey, when are you leaving for your trip? Or are you watching while you're on your trip already? Did you already leave? So there are, oh, you're in Tennessee already? Wow, I thought you didn't leave until this morning. Clearly I misunderstood. So I remember there are 15 designer papers that are on sale this month. Because I remember I had to count, I wanted an even amount if possible on my grid that I put on my blog. So Playing with Patterns is one of them, and that's what I'm going to be using. You're here? Oh, you're in Tennessee. Gotcha. Crazy. Well, I hope everything goes well and you have good traveling on your way home too. I'm glad that you're here to check in with me too. All right, so I don't know who all is coming. I didn't really keep a good tab, and I didn't left last minute after work. Gotcha. All right then. Well, that's good. Hi Dina. I'm glad that you're here. So I'm gonna get started. I'm not gonna show you everything that I made. Hopefully you already looked at it. I mean, I guess I kind of am. But oh yay! Hi Jamie. Your retired Halloween paper. That sounds perfect. So I am using Playing with Patterns. I really had fun making this. And so what I'm planning to do is show you, I did make a, what do we call this? A map, I guess we'll call it. I did make a map for what we're going to be doing, but then I'm going to walk you through step by step what we need to do, okay? So I'm playing with patterns, and I'm not doing any drawings today. Well, I'm not doing the drawing from Wednesday, but I will probably do drawings from, I haven't thought it through. From what I make today, maybe half of them I'll give away. So, because I need to send half of them out also. So happy World Card Making to everybody. Oh, and Sherry Vree is watching. Hello. I hope you collected all your things to stamp with me. That would be fun, but maybe you're busy. I don't know. But I like when you check in with me. Okay, so I'm going to, I don't think there's anything that I have to do before I get going. So I'm going to put you down. So are you stamping with me, Sherry? I'm going to put you down and show you my grid that I'm going to be starting with. I have two designer papers are shown on one of my sheets, and then I also have one for the 8.5 by 11 Whisper White. So I have two sheets of them, two of them, other than possibly wanting, oh good, I'm glad you're stamping with me. Other than possibly wanting to put inserts in them, because like one of the colors that I'm using is Night of Navy, and you can't really write on Night of Navy. So I would probably put an insert in there, but the two pieces of cardstock doesn't cover that. So you're going to need inserts for anything that you have really dark that you want to do that. So, okay, so I'm going to put you down, but I can still see comments. I keep about doing finish for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, unbackwards, upside down, and here you go. Okay, so what I'm showing you, this is the grid that we're going to be using it's going to be for 2 sheets of designer paper. So you should have four 6x6 pieces, and so we're going to use this grid for 2 sheets at a time, and then we'll use this one for the other 2 sheets. So I don't know if you want to do, well, I'll share the pictures of these grids on my blog later, but when you're stamping with me right now, you'll be able to figure that out. Okay, so this is the grid for the 8.5 by 11. But only one of them. The other one, for the most part, is just for punching or any extra that you need. And we actually don't use a lot of this other than for punching. So, but here's my plan. So, I'm going to put this on top. So, I have my 2 sheets. So what you're going to want to do is, hopefully you chose designer paper that looks all pretty together, and I'm going to do one of each of my designs, and I am planning to, let me see, I gotta see, oh yeah, so what I'm going to do is put both of my sheets here. So I'm going to cut this in half. Now, if you have stripes that matter to you, which way that they go, we're going to cut with this, well, it depends on how you want your stripes to look, I guess, but we're going to cut first in half with the stripe, because the pieces that I'm going to cut are going to go like this, so I want my stripes going this way. So does that make sense? So I'm cutting this in half, so we're cutting this at 3 inches. I'm going to line both of these up here. So if you started with 12 by, oh, I forgot. Okay, before we do this, I just totally got confused. All right, we're going to cut all of our colored cardstock first, all right? So my suggestion would be to cut it all, cut and score it all so that it's long. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to do each one of these. So we're lining it up at 5.5 inches. I always do my scoring first and then my cutting, and then I only have to score once. So I'm scoring at 5.5 and then turning and cutting at 4 1/4. Okay, so do that for all your card bases. I just for some reason like this way anyway, but also with some of the designs it matters, and then you don't have to worry about, well, is this the one that's cut this way, or do I need to choose a different color because it won't work, or whatever, because some of them do definitely need this way. So mine is worn off now, but I have marks. I use Sharpie marks, and you can't see them anymore. In fact, I'm going to draw them right now. I write right on my trimmer. I make a Sharpie mark at 4 1/4 and 5.5, so I don't have to try to search for it every time I want to use it, because those are my most common markings that I use. So and they do wear off after a while, especially because I use it so much. Okay, so I'll score to 5.5, cut it 4 1/4. So you can have duplicate colors if you want, but you should have 5 sheets of your colored cardstock. Alright, I have one last sheet. So tell me when you're done. I know that I have Ruth and Sarah stamping with me, and Sherry and Dina. And Cindy never told me if she's stamping with me. She just got on. So Cindy, if you want me to wait for you to stay together with me, then you need to tell me you're stamping with me. Oh, I cut this one bad. Uh-oh. Alright, fortunately I haven't. That'll have to be for something else. So I only have... Do I have one over here? Oh, good. This one's just different. Okay. I was too busy gabbing and did not pay attention to my own cutting. Silly me. Okay. So we're just going to set these aside to choose. So tell me when you have your cardstock cut and scored. And then I will move on. I'm getting fuzzies. So I'm going to show you what I do for my fuzzies. So it doesn't work. Sherry's done. Good job. So it doesn't always work just to well, like with the old trimmer, you could take out this little replacement mat here. What I like to do, you're using retired paper, TV done. I don't know. I'm just going to say, you mean to say done. Did you copy and paste or something? Okay, so this is a baby wipe. Sometimes you need wetness in there to get it out, to get out any fuzzies that are in here. So I use my paper piercing tool, or like you could use the back of your, Dina's done. You could use the back of your paper snips. It's just giving me fuzzy. I don't know if I need a new blade or I just need to clean that out. So we're going to start with the cleaning out part. Okay, so I have Sherry done, Dina done, and Jamie done. Ruth and Sarah, how are you doing? Oh, where did my... No, I can't find the tip. Oh, here it is. Good. tip to my paper piercing tool. Okay. I'm going to get this ready, but I'm not going to start. I'm going to pull my designer paper back again. So now that our card bases are done, we can grab our designer paper. So remember what I said was, we're going to be cutting this. Oh, good. Root's done too. Okay, so we're going to keep going. So we're going to put both of our pieces of designer paper in here. If stripes or something matters, we're going to be cutting it in half at 3 inches. And then we're going to be making smaller cuts this way that are going to be vertical. So I'm cutting both of these at 3 inches. So we're going to set aside 2 of the pieces. And now we're going to be using just half of each of these, okay? So we're going to cut 2 2-inch wide pieces. So I'm lining it up at 2 inches, cutting both of those. And again, cutting it at 2 inches. And then these last 2 2-inch pieces, we're actually going to cut them in half at 1 inch. So when you're done, you actually will have 8 little pieces of cardstock, or designer paper, okay? And I'm going to get this out of the way because I don't need the trimmer in the way anymore. So I'm going to show you on here just in case you need a visual again. Tell me when you're done. Okay, so this is the sheet that we're working on, and we did this part right here. So for 2 of our sheets, one of 2 different sheets, we cut at 2 inches, slit it, and again at 2 inches, 1 inch, 1 inch. Okay, does that make sense? Hi, Cindy. Are you stamping with me too, or are you just watching? All right, so I'm going to move this. So tell me when you're ready and have done your designer paper cutting. Oops, I went this way. You shared already. Cool, thanks. Yes, people who share will be able to be in a drawing for... Jamie's ready. Okay. I'll wait until everybody's ready, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing. You can take all your pieces and arrange them this way. So I kept mine with the piece that's on the back. You can decide what you like together, but you're going to be using 1 wide piece with 1 skinny piece, or 1 2-inch piece with 1 1-inch piece, and we're going to have 4 sets of these. So once you have those ready, you can get those together. You decide how you like them together. If you want to mix and match them, you may. Like, I could have put this one with this and this with this, but I'm sticking with, for now I'm sticking with all these are the same design front and back. Make sense? All right, so Jamie's ready. So Jamie, you must have started with 12 by 12, or did we have some, I about said Hawaiian, or did we have some Halloween designer paper that was 6 by 6 at one time? Todd's been listening to, he found a station a radio station that has Casey Kasem's Top 40 Countdown, and he's been listening to that for a few months now at least. It's kind of funny because I don't remember if they talk about, they don't really talk about the date that it is, I don't think. Ready, trouble doing 1 inch? Yeah, it's a little bit hard to hold on to. Sometimes, I'll show you what I do. I'm not going to cut this again, but I'm going to show you. Sometimes when I do this, you can't really hold it with your fingers because this is in the way, but you can like hold it down with your arm thing here, and that helps. Plus, oh, you did from a couple different packs, gotcha. Plus, with the skinnier pieces, if you pull it towards you instead of just pushing it away, I use my blade both ways. First of all, it makes it last longer, but also sometimes you need to pull it to you for these skinnier pieces. So, all right, so Jamie and Dina are ready. Excuse me. I'm waiting for Sherry and Ruth. While I'm waiting, I'm going to choose what colors that I want right now. I think I'm going to stick with the ones that I did so I don't have to do more thinking. So I already did a set of these. I'm probably going to want to do another set. Ruth's done. Yay. I'm probably going to want to do another set of these in a different design. And Sherry's ready. Cool. Okay. So, and did everybody do their matching of their designer paper too? Or did you just have it cut? So I have mine paired up. I guess I should have told you to tell me when you have that part done too. All right, while I'm waiting for your answer, I chose my designer paper, so you need 4 different colored, not designer paper, cardstock, colored cardstock. I chose the 4 cards that I wanted, and I'm going to fold it in half and do my bone folder so that it's folded nice. Done matching. Good job. Okay, so choose your 4 colors of cardstock that you want. And fold them in half. So I'm assuming since Dina said done matching, that's probably what you guys meant too. Oh, this fuzzy edge is bugging me. I need to find my paper snips that were here. I didn't realize it earlier when I was working. I just can't stand it. Hey Sherry, I still have an order for you. Did you ever get my text that I said that I was here? I know people are just too busy. I know. You've probably been with your grandkids. Seems like I keep seeing pictures of them. I love seeing grandkid pictures. They're all so cute. All right, so tell me when you have your cards chosen. You're done matching. Yes, we'll be home today. It depends on your timing. If you know when you want to come, I can make sure, I can leave it between the front doors. Because I don't have double side doors anymore. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but I don't. But in the front doors, they'll be protected even if it's rainy out. Is it supposed to rain today, or has it rained today? It's just so dark. So let me know when you're coming, when you think you're going to come. And if I think I'm going to be gone, I'll put it in the door. Okay, so everybody done matching and have their cardstock? All right, so I'm going to assume so. So we're going to start just putting our pieces down. So we are doing we're going to be putting them down something like this. So there's kind of an even border around here. And maybe it kind of depends on the punch that you're using or the die that you're using. But so that you get an idea of what I'm doing, because this is going to be for all 4 of these cards. I'm going to show you my done card. So this is my done card with my punch. So I wanted it offset to the left a little bit because I'm going to put my punch here. So this is one of them. So I'm just going to start attaching these. So you decide how far over. And I did do all of these. I do them all landscape or horizontal. But if you like a different design, obviously you can do that. So I'm just going to put these down here. So when you have them down, you can also stamp and punch and whatever. So remember, one whole sheet of your Whisper White is totally okay to use for punching or die cutting, whatever it is that you're doing. Most of one whole sheet we're going to be using for layering also. Alright, so this one's going to be my next one. So these colors that I have are, oops, I'm about to do the wrong one. I am. Just a sec. Okay, so this is the front, this is the back. So the colors that I have here are Night of Navy, Coastal Cabana, Calypso Coral, Crushed Curry, and Purple Posy. These are several, I'm not sure, I don't think that it's all the colors in this designer paper, but it might be. So that's what I'm using. I can't wait to see everybody's cards. I love when people stamp with me in my classes like this. Okay, next one is this. So one of the things that I wanted to make sure to tell people is, oh, okay, so here's something to keep in mind that I forgot to mention because I didn't look at my samples. So this designer paper, this polka dot one, definitely has a lot more white in it, and so I want it farther away from my punched piece. So sometimes I'm putting the skinny part to the right, and sometimes I'm putting the skinny part to the left, depending on how I want it to look. I don't want there to be too much white. So I started to say one of the things that I wanted to mention was I have a class, Love of Leaves bundle class, that's coming up. It is on the 12th, I believe, and today is the last day to register for it. It is $35, and you get, I think, a whole pack of the Plaid Tidings designer paper and half a pack of the brushed metallic designer paper. I just love both of those together. And then a pack of ribbon. And we're going to be making, oh, I forgot how many. Hi, Terry. Did you grab all your stuff together? Or you just didn't even bother, you're just going to do it later. So anyway, the class is $35, and I forgot how many cards we're making. I think it's 2 each of 4 designs. I think that's the plan. So today is the last day to register for my Love of Leaves class. So I don't know if I don't have a sample over here. I don't think it's over on my other table. But one of the cards that I made with all the metallic pieces on it, that's one of them that we're going to be doing. I love it. So from my Whisper White, I'm doing my punching. So I need 4 punch pieces. So I'm just going straight from the edge of my... So this is the Rectangular Postage. I don't know if it's called label punch. Oh, I love breakfast out. What do you like for breakfast out? And where do you go, or did you go? So I have 4 punch pieces. So I'm trying to keep mine in a row like this so that I can be as frugal with my cardstock as possible. So I'm going to stamp these. So I have flowers here, or a flower from, where'd my set go? Just a sec. So this one is a stamp set that I'm using, Lovely You. And I'm using some of the flowers and leaves and stuff like that in here. And the skinnier greetings, because those are the ones that will fit on my postage label. So I have... one doing later. Oh, okay. We go to New Beginnings and Standell, the great breakfast burrito that's not on the menu on weekends. Oh, yay. That sounds awesome. I like New Beginnings. I think Todd and I have been there a couple times. Okay, so I'm taking my flower and I'm just kind of stamping toward the left of my punch piece here. And then I need to clean it. I'm not officially cleaning it, just kind of doing a quick one. And then I need Calypso Coral. We have a New Beginnings, I think actually in both directions from us. We've only been to one of them though. Both of them are on 28th Street. Okay, so I have my flowers down, and I'm using, I love a Just Because card, but I totally love Wildly Grateful. I just love that saying. Okay, so definitely doing a couple of those. Make sure I'm inked up well here. So if you didn't see or catch on or whatever, with my punched piece, I'm actually using dimensionals to put my punch piece on. I think every time I use it, I'm doing that. So just something to keep in mind when you're making yours. Just because. Can you believe we almost have 4 cards done already? I mean, maybe you're not that far, I don't know, but you should be pretty close. So flip these all over. I'm just using 2 pieces on the back. So do you have... Hi, Stacy. How are you? Are you stamping with me, or are you just gonna watch now and stamp later? Good morning, Donna. Are you stamping with me too? Okay, so I'm putting this on here. Hi, Kathy. And offsetting this here. This would be cute with some texture too, but I just love simple sometimes, and so that's what I'm going for. Oh, I put the wrong one on here. Oh well, I guess I'll change it up a little bit more. No, later. Okay, gotcha. So we're starting with 4 total 6x6 pieces of designer paper, and we're gonna make, I do have an 11th card, so we're gonna make 11 cards. So here are all 4 of my first design. So this is Playing with Patterns and the Rectangular Postage Stamp and Lovely You stamp set. And I will be using also Many Mates, but I'll show that later. Okay, so I have these 4 done. So tell me when you have your first 4 done. I'll leave these here in case you kind of need a general idea of the design. On my blog later, I will post I'll post this video after I upload it to YouTube, like I always do every week. And I will also take pictures of, I have a map of how we're cutting it, and each map of the 6x6 designer paper is intended for 2 different sheets. Like we cut this sheet and this sheet the same way, and then there's another map for the other 2 sheets. So just something to keep in mind. All right, how's everybody doing? I feel like we need some music, but I don't think I can turn music on my phone since it's doing my live. I think it would just turn right back off if I tried it. So I told you about Love of Leaves bundle class. That's on the 12th. You have to RSVP and pay for the class by today. Seems like there was something else that I didn't remind people of already. I can't think of it. So what are some of the colors that you guys are working with? Of course, you can't tell me because you're trying to work. I thought about doing this as a Zoom, but somehow I always struggle with people getting on with me for Zoom. Dina's done. Oh, good. I struggle with people getting on with me on Zoom, and then I don't know. It just seems like people don't prefer that in my circle. But anyway, but I would get to see your faces, and you could actually talk to me if I was doing it that way. Okay, so you guys probably all have seen this. If you need to see one again, tell me, but I'm going to put these aside, and I'm going to go back to my map here. So still tell me when you're done, but I'm just going to show you the map so we have a visual before we start doing our cutting, okay? Guess I don't need to tuck it under stamps. So we're still working on this first sheet. So if you lost it or put it aside, you're going to need your two pieces, that the cut in half pieces that we just were done with before we started cutting the rest. This is what you're going to need. We need Jeopardy music. I saw this was quite a few months ago. It may have even been before COVID. I don't remember, but I saw like a last episode of Jeopardy, and we saw an interview with him. It's amazing what all they put into the show with trying to get the questions and the rehearsals, even for him knowing how to pronounce some things. And I always found the SNL skits of Jeopardy funny too. Oh. All right, how we doing, ladies? Ooh. Excuse me. I went to bed way too late, just like usual. My husband probably hates it. He's always the last thing he says to me before I kiss him goodnight, or after I kiss him goodnight, is, "Don't stay up too late." And I always say, okay. And my intention isn't to stay up too late, and I do all the time. It's such a bad habit that I have to change. So, Dina, since you're done, tell me a couple of colors that are in what you're using, or tell me the designer paper that you're using. We'll just chat while everybody else is finishing up. Does everybody know that I have Jamie's ready? Good job. That I'm having a drawing this month for... You copied me. Okay, cool. I have a drawing this month for the new full-size stamp and cut and emboss machine. Or for every $50 that you spend using my host code. Good morning, Marlene. How are you? For every $50 that you spend using my host code that I have set up, you get entered into a drawing for the machine. And if you're in a club where you have to use a totally separate host code, if you place a $75 order, then your name will be entered as well. So, and I'm going to do the drawing. I forgot. It's a Monday. Whatever the first Monday is in November. But I forgot the date. So Marlene, are you planning to come back and do the stamping later also? Right now I'm just waiting for people to get done with our first 4 cards. Oh, I should show you since you just came on. So this is one of them. This is the basic design for the first 4 cards. And so obviously you can use whatever designer paper you want, whatever punch or die that you want, and stamps. Use whatever you got. And this is the map that we're using. So this map is for 2 different sheets of 6x6 designer paper. And then this map is for the other 2 sheets of 6x6. So we're doing this cut on both of them. Ruth is okay. All right. So I think all that we have left is Sherry. Sherry, are you good, or we still need to wait for you? Something to keep in mind when you're doing this, you can always go back and do like adding your punching later or doing your stamping later or whatever. So this card is done and you could embellish it more later if you wanted to. So just something to keep that in mind. Okay, cool. We're all set. Okay, so we're on to the other half of this first map that we have. So we're going to be doing this section here. And there's more lines here than what we're going to be doing. But we're going to be taking our 2 leftover pieces that we have, the half pieces, and we're going to be cutting at 1.5 inches we're gonna cut this whole thing up, okay? So 1.5 is a little bit easier to hold on to than 1 is. So we're gonna line it up at 1.5. And keep doing that until you're done, until you're at the end. So you'll actually have 4 pieces that are 3 inches long and 1.5 inches wide. Well, 4 pieces of each sheet, but we're only going to be using 3 of them for right now. All right. So each of those half sheets will be cut into 4 even pieces. Now we're going to set aside one of each of them, one of each of the individual sheets, and then we're going to flip the middle one, or you can flip them however you want. I'm going to see. Oh, I did it the opposite way for this because there's so much white. I love the polka dots the best, but there's so much white in here. Okay, now for this card design, partly to keep it stable, and I don't know, just kind of needed it. We're going to take one of our other pieces, or our other piece of Whisper White, though not one that we're punching from, and I'm going to show you that map a sec, because we're going to do some cuts on here. Okay, so here is our Whisper White map, and the first cut that we're going to be making, so this is the 11-inch, the long. Doesn't this look huge? When I drew this, I'm like, this is way bigger than a piece of cardstock, but it's not. So we're going to be cutting at our 5-inch line first, okay? We're going to be using these 2 pieces right here. So this is 5 inches by, this is 5 inches by 3 1/4, okay? So I'm going to get this out of the way, get my Whisper White cardstock and my trimmer. So you're going to turn your cardstock landscape so it's going this way, and we're going to line it up at 5 inches and cut. We'll put that other piece aside for later. Then we need 3 1/4 and another 3 1/4. And we're going to put this skinny piece aside. I don't think we even use this. You can use it for something else. Okay. So that's all the cutting that we need for right now. Now, again, decide what pieces you want showing how. And we're going to be mounting these on this white piece. And maybe you need to decide what color cardstock you want it with. Like, before you put it down, make sure that you have it the way that you want it to look. So this time I'm using Night of Navy again. And one of my purple posies. I gotta find them. I buried them over here. Purple posy. Repeat the white. Okay. All right. So from your, I'm gonna start with a whole piece. So from your piece of white, you're cutting it at 5 inches. So this is the long way. This is 11 inches this way. So you're gonna put it in your paper trimmer this way and cut it at 5 inches. Okay. So then, when you have that piece, we're going to pretend this is 5 inches wide. Then when you have this piece, you're going to turn it and line it up at 3 1/4 inches and cut there, and then cut another one at 3 1/4 inches. Okay? So in that piece, you'll have this left that we're just going to be putting aside. And you have 2 pieces that are like this. So when you put your designer paper on here, you're going to have a pretty little border around it. Got it? All right. So I have these are the colors that I'm going with here. Purple Posy, and I have to use this one because remember I cut it badly when I cut my Night of Navy for some reason, but it won't hurt this one. But once you decide how you want your 3 pieces, we put 2 of the designer paper pieces aside. Once you have these decided how you want, attach them to your white pieces that we just cut. Oops. So I'm going to do this. So I would suggest doing your 2 outside pieces first, because whenever I do this, I'm checking out my border on the 3 sides, okay? And then I can do it on the other 3 sides on the other end. I had to turn it around because it was different from the other end. Okay, so I have both of the ends down, so now I can just center this middle one. There we go. Got one down. Hey Sherry, did you try using your, watching the video and using your Stampin' Seal yet? I was just realizing that I'm using it, and hopefully you're doing it my way. Sometimes it still is a problem. Sometimes I still have to get it started here. But I've been doing much better than when I started out. So you have to roll it and then tip your hand forward. You have tried it. Does it work better? Are you figuring it out okay? Oops, I didn't do it quite. I don't have my even border around there. That's better. Just realizing I'm not so much in camera. Yes, but not fond of it. Gotcha. It's a little bit hard to get used to. Okay, so I have my 3 pieces down. And I need to blow my nose. I've been nasally challenged lately. Excuse me, sorry. Dina's done. I have my hand sanitizer here, but somehow the pump top broke off of it. It's not the one that I've been having at clubs lately. It's a commercial one, but there's just a little bit left, so I figure I can use it for when I need it quick over here. this aside here. Okay, how's everybody doing? We have our two things here. While we're waiting for you, we're going to fold our card bases in half. Don't attach it yet, though. We need to do something to it. Dina. I didn't. Okay, good job, Jamie. Thank you. So find your card bases, fold them in half. And now you're going to want to find your ribbon. So I'm using the Denim Ribbon for this. So, waiting for Sherry and Ruth. If you have punches that you're using, while we're waiting, we can punch two punch pieces out, because we're making 2 cards with this design. So I'm going to punch a couple pieces out while I'm waiting. I know we're just getting farther ahead by working ahead like this. But... Okay, Sherry's good. I might have my punch pieces here. Ruth and Sarah, you good? All right, I'm going to keep going. All right, so the next step, we're going to be tying ribbon around our piece with designer paper. And I'm going to go the long way. So I always do left over right. I'll show you in case you're one that has a hard time with this. I always go left over right, and it's important to make sure that both ends are facing away from you, like I'm pointing at the computer or the wall. And I'm tucking under the top one and pulling it tight. Then I need to do the same thing again. Both pieces need to be, now I have right over left, both pieces need to be facing away from me. And I cross the right one over on top. They're still facing away from me, and the top one tucks under, and you pull it through. So now I'm pulling it, and kind of when it gets to a certain point, I stop pulling this one, and I just finish by pulling the one that didn't pull through, and it helps it square this knot right here. So then we're going to cut this off. All right. And I kind of want this slid over a little bit, so I'm just going to slide, excuse me, slide front and back. All right, so I'm going to talk through this one again. So left over right, I'm pointing to the wall. The top, which is the left one, is coming under and through, and then I'm holding it kind of taut, is that right? Holding it taut. Now I need to go right over left. They both need to be pointing away from me again. The top one, the right one needs to be on top again. So I'm making a little loop here that my top one is going to come under and through. Don't do any twisting. You just need to leave it. Okay, so now it's kind of tight. Now I'm just going to hold this and pull this, and it flattens it. Now, if you, well, I don't know the length for this one. I was going to tell you if you need to cut yours before you can tie it. I was going to tell you a length, but this isn't the full length of the card, so I don't know what to tell you. This is what, 4, what did we say, 3 3/4 inches. So this would work, probably 12 or 14 inches for this one. So we have both of our pieces here. I'm going to sneeze just a sec. All right, so tell me when you're done to that point where you have your ribbon on your stack of designer paper and Whisper White. I really love this pack of designer paper. I'm so happy with all the ones that Stampin' Up! Has on sale right now. Like, all my favorites are in there. The Playing with Patterns, the Plaid Tidings, Forever Fern. What else is in there? Oh, the whale one. Whale of a, I don't know. I always say well done. Okay, you guys are all done with this part, with the ribbon part? 1 minute. I gotta see. Looks like Sherry is. I can't tell if you guys are. All of a sudden I just saw a bunch of dones, but I don't, it seems like it was longer ago that you did it. All right, I'm gonna wait another minute. Ruth and Sarah, how are you doing? Are you way behind or are you keeping up? Ribbon done. Perfect. Thank you. I'm so shadowy today. It bugs me. I think it's because I don't have enough light coming through the windows. I have them totally open, but there's just so much shadow from above my head. Ruth's good. All right, cool. So the rest of you have been keeping up okay, so I'm going to keep going. So we're going to be putting these on our card now. So I'm making sure that I have adhesive below the ribbon and up at the top here. And then I also want some strips that are closer above the ribbon too. All right, so this one's going on my purple posy. This one's going on my Night of Navy. Oops, have to get it started. So these are all on here. All right, so once they're on, you're gonna work with your punches. So I'm gonna show you both of them that I have done, and then I'm gonna do it, okay? You guys do it however you want, with stamping on there and whatever. So I did 2 different ones. So this one, I just stamped thanks, and I'm using my, I don't think I have this in my picture, but I'm using the what are they called? Playing with Patterns resin dots. So I have just the 2 colors that are shown in this designer paper, and I have a couple sizes. And then this one I'm doing with my blends, and I'm going to show you this one really quick. So first of all, I want to stamp. I'll do both my stamping and then I'll do my my blending. Where's the thinking of you? There it is. This says just thinking of you. So this one is from Mini Mates. And I'm going to stamp this kind of on the right side of my punched piece. And then I need thanks. I lost thanks. Oh, there it is. It was hiding. Stamp thanks on here. Okay, now this isn't truly blending, but I wanted to use blender pen so that I could somewhat do this. So I used dark, oh, that's Mango Melody, that's the wrong one. I need to find where I have them. Not there. Must be hidden under here further. I have Calypso Coral and Purple Posy, and I can't find my yellow Daffodil Delight. All I can find is Mango Melody. Wonder if I dropped it. Thought I had everything here. Alright, well I guess I'm going with Mango Melody. We're going to make it work. Okay, so I'm taking the brush end and I'm kind of just, am I in camera? Taking the brush end and I'm just kind of making a line here. I want it to be kind of wide. And then this isn't an actual, the spectrum, it doesn't quite make sense, but I'm just making these stripes that look, the colors look pretty together, and they're all part of my polka dot paper. And here's my Purple Posy. So I'm not really blending them, I'm just putting them next to each other. There we go. So I have this Just Thinking of You piece. All right. Oh, and then I just saw it. You can't tell it. Maybe you can tell it if I put it up close. On my punched piece, I actually rubbed it on my Night of Navy to help it stand out a little bit better. So I'm not completely making a huge wide line of it, but I'm just rubbing the edges on here. Now it won't get all up there because there's the postage stamp edge, but it helps it stand out a little bit. Alright, so I'm putting dimensionals on the back of here. I lost them. Going to use these edge pieces. All my backings off. I love dimensionals. I love how it makes stuff pop. Okay, so my blue one is where I have my rainbow looking Just Thinking of You. And my Purple Posy has my plain thing. So now I gotta add my resin dots here. So on this one, I'm going with this big yellow one. I don't know if it's crushed curry or if it's bumblebee. I think it's crushed curry. Because it's the farthest color away from what I markered. Does that make sense? I wanted it to be on something contrasting. And then I'm just using the colors that are in this designer paper from these dots. There, so these two are done. Oops, I'll show you one at a time. That's done. All right, so tell me when you're done with that one. I'm gonna put these aside. Okay, so remember, when even those of you who are doing the replay, I wanna see your cards. So make sure, please, I would love it, if you post your cards to my Dazzled by Stamping community group, and if you're not familiar with that, I'll make sure that I post a link on the edited part of the video, so there'll be words at the top of it. So post it there. And I think what I did last time, I think I'll do it again this time. So you'll have 2 different opportunities to be able to win a card that I made. I'll probably give away half of them, so like 5 cards. So if you share this video, make sure that you come back to the comments of this video and say that you shared. So that's one way that you can win. And okay, so Ruth's done with punching, or Ruth's done with the card, must be. So that's one way to be entered into a drawing for winning these cards, is sharing this video. The other way is make sure that you post your samples. So take a picture of all your cards that you made and post it on Dazzled by Stamping community, and I'll make sure to include a link in the video. So I'll draw. I don't know when I'll draw. Maybe I'll do 2 different drawings on Wednesday. That'll be lots of drawings. So that people have enough time to share and make the cards. That'll be lots of drawing, but I think I can do it. We'll see. I might need 2 different tabs open with my randomizer. All right, tell me when you're ready, and I'm gonna get my map out to show you again. We'll watch the rest later. Oh, so you're done stamping with me now? Okay, thanks for hanging out with me. Have a wonderful day. All right, Dina's ready. Jamie and Sherry, are you still on? I'm kind of assuming, but I don't know. Trying to see how many people are watching with me right now. I can't tell. My glasses don't see my phone that way. I just can't tell. You're close enough. Okay. I'll wait to hear from Sherry too. I don't want to get too far ahead of you guys. Plus, then it will keep... You're still here. Are you done? Plus, it will help people that are doing the replay. They won't have to keep starting and stopping too. But at least they have that if I do go too fast, then they can pause it for a sec. Okay, perfect. All right, so the next, we're done with this one for now. There's still some pieces left, but we're not gonna worry about that. So we're on to our next map here of the second pieces of the designer paper. So our first cut is going to be, just a sec, let me pull my pieces out because I kind of want to show you. Our first cut is going to be this 1-inch cut right here. And I want to, even though on one side it makes it not the way that I prefer, I again want my stripes to be horizontal, and we're going to be making cuts like this. So my 1-inch piece is going to come off on this end over here, okay? This one, this one might matter. I don't remember on this one, but it's not, it doesn't matter to me as much as my, I just love these stripes. Okay, so we're gonna, so what I'm doing, I don't know if your trimmer, I know if you have either this trimmer or the last version of this trimmer, you can do this. The easiest way to do this, to cut off a 1-inch strip, is to use this side of your trimmer. This goes out to, well, on this trimmer it goes out to 1.5 inches, but the other one it goes to 1.25 at least. So if you are right-handed, it is way easier to cut a 1-inch strip lining it up at 1 inches on this side. So that's what we're doing. So I lined up 1 inches. Actually, you know what? I didn't line up at 1 inch. I lined up at 1.25. That was dumb. But I'll make it work. So yours is going to look a little bit different than mine, but it's nothing huge. So I cut off this 1-inch strip, and I'm just going to set this aside. That's right, yeah. Yeah. Set this aside. And now we're going to turn this. Don't do what I did. Line it up at 1 inch. I talked myself right into cutting it at 1.25 after I set it. Okay, so now looking at the map again, so what you have left, it's cut at 5 inches. This is your length, is 5 inches. Now we're going to cut it at 2 3/4 and 1, because we need both those pieces. So we're going to line up 2 3/4. Line up both of these and cut. And then, okay, you can do the same thing. I'm going to do it right this time. You can do the same thing on this one, because this is our last cut, and line up your 1 inch over on this side. Obviously when you have a wider piece, it helps. When you just have a 2-inch wide piece, then it's a lot harder. But anyway, so we have our 1-inch piece also. All right, setting these aside for the moment. Okay, I'm setting this aside for the moment. All right, so we're making 2 cards, and we're going to do the same kind of thing. We're flipping the same one, or however you want to do it. And you need to choose your card base, so I need to see which ones I did. So I changed this one up a little bit. Okay, so I need my Calypso Coral and my other purple posy. So once you have your cutting done, choose your cardstock and use your bone folder, or just fold it and make it all ready. All right. So I'm changing this up a little bit. This is how we're going to be doing this one. This is how we're going to be doing this one. I'm actually going to make this one a landscape one. This one right here. Oops. Ooh, my battery's running low. Just a sec. I gotta come right back. I gotta go get the block and plug it in. Just a second. Just a sec. I think Todd has the block. I need to go find it. Hey, here you go, the block. Hey, hey. So sorry for the delay. All right, just a sec. I gotta plug this in and make sure that we're all good. All right. Oops. It is, just a sec, I don't want to tell you wrong, I want to look. 2 3/4. You're doing the 2 3/4 by 5 inches. And then 1 inch. All right. Now I don't know if you guys' what your designer paper looks like, but for mine, you're welcome. For mine, I want to do a little stamping on my designer paper. I just like the look of it. So I'm going to do this quick while you guys are hopefully finishing what you're doing. So I'm using my Night of Navy and just kind of making a vine sort of here. You don't have to do this. I'm just adding a little interest to this. And I'm going to do the same thing with a different one. Both of these are from the Lovely You. Tell me if you're ready, because I don't know. Oh, I have this flipped. Doing it this way and this way. All right. I'm doing another vine, just in a different way. There we go. All right, are you guys still cutting? I don't see where you guys are done. While I'm waiting for you, I'm gonna punch out 2 more pieces. I have one here. Okay, Jamie's ready. I'll put my punch pieces right here. All right, so what we're doing, I'm going to close this so I don't put my cards or designer paper or something in it. All right, what we're doing is we're going to be attaching this to our cards and then doing a little design afterwards. So I'm going to start putting my adhesive on here. I'm not sure how perfectly centered or offset or whatever these are. So maybe what you should do, I'm not sure if I did this or not, but what you might want to do is to put it down gently and see if you like it where it's at. So I'm going to put my two together. It doesn't look too bad, even though I shaved off an extra 1/4 of an inch. It's hanging on too much. There's one. Okay, so there's that. And I'll do the same with this too. I love this polka dot one so much. All right, so I have my 2 cards ready, and we're going to be using some ribbon again, but we're using it differently. You might be interested in using tear and tape or mini glue dots. I just used regular adhesive, so it's up to you what you want to do. Tell me when you're ready that your cards look like this, that you have your designer paper on here. Getting adhesive everywhere. Glued. Good job. Thanks, Richard. Thanks. Jamie, I appreciate you saying a different word because I keep looking up and seeing ready. I'm like, wait, is that this ready or is that ready? Okay, so next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to put, again, you can use, as I mentioned, mini glue dots or tear and tape if you prefer. And you might want to just watch me do this first and then do it. I'll wait for you. So I'm putting a whole strip of adhesive right on where the 2 designs meet. Okay? Then, oh, I gotta find my, oh, here's my ribbon. Then what I'm doing is in my ribbon, I'm making a knot, just a single knot. So it's kind of a couple inches from the end, or you can make it wherever you want it to be. And I'm making a blunt cut. I want it to be totally straight. And then you can start from either end. You decide where you want it to be. So I'm using this blunt cut and putting it right on my adhesive. And I'm turning this a little bit if necessary because I want it to go flat all the way up here. So then I need to do another straight cut here. It's a little bit hard when you have it on your designer paper. Okay, so here's how my card looks. So I have my knot. On the other one that I designed, I had my knot up higher. It doesn't really matter. You're just going to be working around where you're going to put your tag. So I'm going to show you how I have my done cards. So here's my one. I'm gonna stamp it with with a contrasting color, and then I put it, my knot is higher on here, and then this one is just, you know, however you want it. Okay? So again, you can watch me again if you want to, but taking my adhesive the whole length of the way. Now if you're using tear and tape, you can do the same thing, or if you're using mini glue dots, you can just use a few mini glue dots, but you need that blunt cut so that you're basically at the, you're lining it up with the edge of your designer paper. Unfortunately, it kind of ravels, but hopefully if you have it down, oops, not. Hopefully if you have it down, then it won't unravel. It's funny, you don't want it too far into your ribbon where you have the knot, because it's a lot shorter. Your card is a lot shorter than kind of what you think it is. All right, so I'm putting this straight down. Some of your adhesive might be exposed. Hopefully that doesn't cause a problem. All right, I'm cutting this again. There. All right. So now you're making your punch pieces. I have Coastal Cabana. This is kind of a cute flower. I like this. With Celebrate. Isn't that kind of cute? And then, okay, on my card that I made so that I had samples, I used Calypso Coral full on, and I kind of feel like I need to stamp it off. I'll show you what I mean. See, it's just kind of dark with my really thin, Just Thinking of You. The font is pretty thin, so I'm going to stamp it off. Oh, and especially because basically I have them both, like, it's not offset. Like, this one's offset so that you see most of the Celebrate, but this one is full on. Both of these greetings are from Many Mates. So this one is lighter because I stamped it off on my scrap first. So let us do this. Just Thinking of You. It's a little better. Could use even less probably, but that's all right. Now I know I have the Celebrate here. Where is it? Ta-da. All right, now one thing that you're going to want to keep in mind when you put your punched pieces on this is you're going to want to straddle the ribbon. So don't put your dimensionals in the spot where it's going to attach to the ribbon. Kind of do it on each end. I don't know how. Every time I'm live that I lose my dimensionals. I have this sheet, but I feel like there's another one that I'm looking for. All right. One end. One end. Same with here. One end and one end. There's one. There's two. All right, so here's my done cards. See, that looks a little bit better with your having it stamped off. Okay. Are y'all good? You guys don't need to see these, right? Have you seen them long enough? Hopefully you have. Okay. Tell me when your cards are done. 2 cards are done. We have 3 cards left. Is that right? I'm going to count them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 3 cards left. We'll do labels later. Okay, sounds good. All right, I'm pulling my map back out here. All right, so I'm doing something because, well, no, I'll wait because you guys have to do part of this too. I just have to do an extra step because I cut wrong. I love how colorful this designer paper is. It's amazing. And if you've not used it with Zany Zebras yet, I love it with Zany Zebras. So cool. Rub it on, I'll finish stamping later. Perfect, sounds good. And Sherry, how about you? You know what, I hope you don't feel rushed because you know what, even though I should be better about talking, so there's blank air, but the people that are doing the stamping need this time too when they do the replay. So, okay, cool. All right, so back to our map here. We're on our second sheet again. So we have lots of pieces cut of this. So you need to find these pieces if you don't have them already. You need both of these. So this, I'm going to show you on this sheet. This is this piece right here, and we're going to be cutting it down. So you should have 2 of this size, and then this 1-inch piece that we cut off from the beginning. We're going to be doing that. Now, as I mentioned, I have an extra step to do, so ignore me for now because I have this step to cut off this extra 1/4 of an inch. It probably would be okay on there, but I'm cutting it. Okay, so you don't have to do this. You cut it right. I did not. So I'm cutting this off. See how I'm holding this down, Dina, and pulling it to me? That's how you get those skinny little pieces off. Okay, so on this 1-inch piece, we need to turn it, and we're cutting it at 4 inches. So line them both up. Cut it at 4 inches. You're saving this. You're going to want this later. Okay? So I'm going to wait for a minute while you guys do that. So you're going to end up with 2 1-inch by 4-inch pieces. And then we're going to be cutting this also. But I'm going to wait a minute. Okay. I changed my mind on one of mine because I'm being picky. All right. You know that I really, really like my stripes like this. I want these to be, well, I don't like, I'll start with this. I don't like my stripes to look like this. With where they're going to go, I don't want them to look like this. So I'm actually cutting off 1 inch of this one. And so my design is going to be a little bit different for this one. If you have a similar one, feel free to do this. And I'm cutting this to 4 inches. I'll use this for something else later. So I just have this skinny piece, and I have my 2 1-inch pieces. So 1 inch is done. Okay. So now, our next line, I'm going to look at it so I don't forget. So our next piece, so this is 2 1/4 inches wide. You may have 2 2 1/4 inch wide pieces, but both of these pieces, whether you cut it down like this one or it starts out like this, we're now cutting this at 3.5 inches. So line these both up at 3.5, and we're cutting. Save all your scraps. We're going to be using it for something else later. At least some of them. Oh, I still need this. Okay, tell me when you're done with that, because we have a piece of Whisper White to cut also. The SP is cut. Perfect. Cool. Thank you, Dina. Sherry, are you ready to? Sorry, I just kind of got in a daze. I'm just waiting, and then I went in a daze. All right, for those of you that are ready, so you want the other basic, okay, thanks, Sherry. So you want the other basically half a piece of Whisper White that we cut our 5 inches off originally. So this is the piece that's left. You haven't been punching from it, hopefully. If you have been punching from it, you can always just cut pieces to this size, but this is just the map to make it easy. So we cut this 5-inch part. Now we're going to cut this to be 4 inches wide. So we're going to cut 4 inches here. So, and then we're going to cut some strips here. Some of this we're going to end up cutting off. And we'll do that all right now. But I just wanted to show you, this is what we're working with right here. So our first cut, we want to get this whole 4-inch cut right here, okay? So you have it, it would be portrait, looking at this piece. So we're lining it up at 4 inches. So you should have 2 inches left, and I think this totally is just, we don't even need. So we cut it at 4 inches. Then the first cut, the first cut we're going to make is for later, so we're just going to set this aside. Our first cut, once we turn it, is at 3 inches. Okay? So this 4-inch by 3-inch piece, we're just going to set aside. Now we're going to do another cut. So this is how we have it after cutting our 3-inch piece. We're going to turn this back, and we're going to cut it at 3 3/4. We don't need that extra 1/4 inch on this section. So, just review so that you can see it again. So we had this left, and we cut it down to 4 inches. Then we turned it. Well, I guess we put it in here like this and cut it at 4 inches. Then we turned it like this, and we cut it at 3 inches. Okay? Now, we turned it again like this, and we cut off this little strip so that this is down to 3 3/4 inches. Hi, Carrie. Thanks. Same to you. So this is 3 3/4 inches. So let's start with this. I want to make sure that we're on the same track here. So right now, this should be 3 3/4 inches wide and 5 1/2 inches long. Is that where everybody's at? Just want to check in with you so that I didn't lose you on all those cuts. Sorry, the delay from you commenting after me talking. I don't even know the length of it, but it feels like a long time when I'm just sitting here. Okay, good. Good. Perfect. Yay. Good job, girls. All right, so now we're going to slide this over, and we're going to cut at 2 1/2 inches twice. And in doing so, you're going to leave a 1/2 inch behind. Ish, I guess. Yeah, 1/2 inch. So we don't need this. But now you have two pieces that are 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. Okay? This is what we're using right now. All right. So, oh, I forgot. We still need our paper trimmer. Okay. So choose your colors that you want. I'm using Crushed Curry and Coastal Cabana. And this is the main reason, actually, why I wanted you to cut all of your stuff this way rather than scoring and cutting the other way. So what we're going to do on one end is cut 1 inch of it off, okay? So again, the easiest way to do it is to line it up on your right side rather than on your left. Then you have all this that you're holding on to. So we're going to cut 1 inch off of one of the ends on both of these. Okay, now you can fold these and crease it. Fold and crease. And our 1 inch piece, we're going to put at the bottom here. And I'm just going to do that now. You can catch up if you're not quite caught up yet. That's the next step. Oopsie. Keep doing all my adhesive off camera, kind of. Okay, so we did cut it so that there is going to be a border around the bottom. Okay. fuzzy edge here again. Okay, tell me when you have that much done. So everything is cut. Your 1-inch pieces are attached to your bottom. You have 1 inch off of the front of your card, basically. Oh, my comments went away. Okay. So Carrie, did you pull all your stuff together? Are you going to go back and do it later? You guys all set? Border done. Perfect. No need to wait for me on this one. I have directional paper, so I need to watch and see. Okay, gotcha. All right, sounds good. Sherry, you're good? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the finished cards, and then you can decide, Jamie, what you're doing. So these are the 2 cards that I'm making. So one, the design is just, okay, good. One, the design is just going to go on this white piece that we have cut here. And this one that I cut skinny because I wanted my stripes a certain way. I'm going to put it on here, but first I'm going to stamp my little vine thing here also. Another thing that I'm doing, just because I like it, I'm going to turn my stripes. Where'd that piece go? This is actually something left over from somewhere else. I'm going to turn my stripes. I'm going to attach this to... I'm going to attach this to my Whisper White, and I'm going to punch from it. I did this after the fact last time, but this time I thought ahead. So I have some design right on this punched piece that I'm going to stamp also. Okay? All right, so here's my finished one. So now I'm going to put it together. So this one just goes on my white piece. And then this goes on my card. So again, as far as my spacing goes, I'm just sort of, oh, that's the wrong card. I want it on this one. As far as my spacing goes, I just kind of keep in mind that I want some room so that my tag is partially on and partially off my designer paper and then onto my regular border here too. Okay, so it's offset just a little bit. This one, I need to stamp first. I'm going to do that. I'm going to start at the bottom. Doesn't really matter with this stamp, but that's what I'm doing. All right, and then I can put this design on there. And then do the same thing that I did with the other one as far as offsetting the placement of it. Okay, since you saw what the card ends up being, I'm just going to keep going, and until I'm done with this card, I'm not going to stop, okay? If you have questions, you can ask, but I'm just going to keep going. So before you put your tag down, we're going to, just so you kind of know, I guess it doesn't matter. As long as you put your tag up far enough, it doesn't matter. We're going to tie our ribbon around here. Left over right, right over left. I'm not going to go slow with that again. You can go back and watch it if you need to later. I just need to make sure that my left is long enough here. All right. Now when I cut it for just a knot hanging here, I always angle it. I don't blunt cut it like we did for when we were gluing it down on the cardstock. Okay, there's one. If you're doing it while it's still attached to the ribbon, it matters which direction you go in. It decides either which one you can have on top or bottom or whatever. So if you're trying to do this, you need to do it a certain way. Otherwise, you can just cut it. Okay, so when I'm cutting for you guys for classes, a good number for ribbon, if you're going around portrait, you need 14 inches and you have a good handle on it so that you kind of have a little bit of extra left, but it's a good amount. If you're going to go around landscape, then 16 inches is a good amount. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, one thing too, make sure that your ribbon goes around just your card front, not around your whole card. Otherwise, you have to slide your ribbon off to open your card. All right, so this tag is easy. I already did this, put my designer paper on here. So I think I just did just a note. Oh, just thinking of you. So I'm going to do that quick. And then the other one, I did a little design. I'm going to put this on right now. The other one I did a little designy, and I already stamped this before I even got on camera because it's memento and I'm using blends, and I didn't want to forget to let it dry and all that. So on this part where I have a little bit of designer paper on here, I want two things. First of all, I'll show you once I get it down. I kind of used a wider piece than my sample that I did. So I want the white to be onto my designer paper here, but then I also want this line of designer paper preferably to be off the white. I like those contrasting lines. So Anyway, I'll just mention that to you. Okay. So, my designy one. So, I stamped Happy Birthday in Memento. And I need all my blends. So, here's my... How did I miss this? Dark Daffodil Delight. This is the one that I was looking for earlier. Don't know how I missed it before. Okay, so we're going to use... Did I do... I need to see it. I guess maybe just 4. Yellow, pink, purple. I guess that's it. Oh yeah, I didn't use Coastal Cabana. Okay. Okay, so for this, I'm using the fine tip, and I'm not truly blending this, but I'm just kind of trying to keep in mind lines of, it's not even ombre because it's not the same color that's shaded or tinted or whatever. I'm just keeping in mind line stripes. So I'm using my my Daffodil Delight across the top here with the fine part of excuse me, the blend. Now you guys probably, except for Dina if she's using many mates also, you guys probably don't have this detail part to do. Maybe you have other stuff. Okay, this is my Calypso Coral. And I'm just kind of have in mind an invisible line here for where the Calypso Coral color should stop. Then I'm using Purple Posy just at the very bottom. It really doesn't matter if it's dark or light. I'm just trying to get this rainbow look. And then I also want to start it kind of at the top of birthday. And then this one probably does matter. This is light Night of Navy. Probably dark is too dark for this, so that you wouldn't be able to see the lines well. There we go. So I have my rainbowy looking Happy Birthday. All right, so this one just needs dimensionals on it too. All right, so how are you guys doing on your 2 cards that we're working on? There's my done card. There's my other done card. I'll just show them quick so you get a quick look at them again. All right, we have 1 card left. Okay, so Sherry's good. This aside for the moment. Okay, so what I want you to do while you're waiting, if you're ready and waiting, is to gather your scraps of designer paper. There's not tons of them. But there are some. Labels later again. Okay, sounds good. Oh, I gotta find where that piece went. Oh, there it is. Jamie, did you catch up? Okay, I'm not going to, oh, another thing that you need is this 3x4 piece of white that you had. And I know that you're out of colored cardstock unless you grabbed extra. But we're just gonna do a piece that you can make an extra one with, because I didn't tell you to grab an extra color. And you might need to decide after the fact what color you're gonna use once you see it anyway. I did. I put it up to all my colors to see what I liked best. Oh, Jamie, do I still not need to wait for you? I just saw your comment again. All right, I'm going to keep going. Okay, so what we need to do, all the rest of these are scraps, okay? And I decided that I wanted to do something with some of these scraps. And maybe they're too annoying for you to do, so it's up to you whether, okay, good, thanks. It's up to you whether or not you want to do these. Some of them are cut well so that you don't have to do too much to them. Some of them you're going to have to hold on to them kind of goofy. So you decide whether or not you want to do this, and I'll show you what we're doing. So we're looking for 1 inch by 1 inch squares, okay? I already have one here somehow. I don't know if that was because of the kind of cutting that I did or whatever. One way to help you be able to hold on to it well is if you think it's not quite, if you think it's like at 2 1/4 inches, then cut that quarter off first, and then cut your 1 inch line. So I have 4 there. What we're looking for is 12 squares if you are up to it. This will make something good later. I cut something else too, I'll show you. So this one is 3 inches, so I can get 3 out of here. So maybe you can even do something else too. I'm sure you end up with more than 12 squares, but this one's too skinny. This is from my bad cutting job. So this one is 2 1/4, so I'm cutting off that quarter, and then I'm cutting my inches. Okay, so you want kind of I'll say even amounts, but I'm not sure that that's right. Yeah, I guess kind of even amounts of both designs. You don't want all of one design in these squares. So you can tell better if you keep all the dots or all the stripes or whatever. So I'll do it that way. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I think I missed one. 11. So I have 5 and, no, I can't even count. There's 4 and 2, 4, 6, 7. That's 11. All right, but I want more of this, so just gonna cut some 1 inch of these. So I'm gonna make sure that I have 6 and 6. Okay. You obviously you could do something with that if you wanted to. You could cut more 12-inch squares. I'll show you what I did because I just kept cutting when I was originally doing this. All right. So we're going to be using this piece, as I mentioned. And I'm going to make a grid. And what I want to do, I don't want white all the way on the outside. What I want to do, and they don't have to be perfect right now, but we're going to put, these squares on this grid, and you don't want them, I don't want them facing the same way every time, and I don't want them next to each other. I kind of, you end up with a pattern anyway, but I'm trying to avoid a pattern, okay? Oops, that's the wrong one. So I want this. And then this. And this is going to go here. So I'm kind of just, if I need to change things, I can change things. But I'm trying to... Is this the one? Yep, this is the one. Okay. So I made this grid here, and you can change things around. Like if it seems like there's too much purple in here, you can change things around or whatever. You're going to attach this all. This fits perfectly. 3 inch by 4 inch. You're going to attach this all together. And then, what I did, you may not have this, so you may not be able to do this, but this will work just fine like this. I used, I think it's this one. I used my Stitched Rectangles die and ran it through. It just barely fits, like the outside stitching, is off, but the inside stitching just barely fits on here. So I have this like patchwork sort of design here with those pieces, and I'm not going to do this right now. What I did, make sure that so that it stays down well, I put 2 strips of adhesive for each and put it on there. And then I decided I liked it with my Night of Navy, so I'm going to do 2 things. First of all, I'm switching ribbons. This is Pool Party. It's from the Well Done suite, and I'm just do I want it on here? No, I'm just going to do it on this piece. Oh, and I'm going from the wrong direction. So it's not working right. Where am I? Something felt wrong. All right, so I'm going to tie this knot. Now this is so fine that you really don't end up with a flat knot. It ends up being kind of a ball, or just really thin. All right, and cut here. And I'm going to put this down with regular adhesive. So I'm just going to put this right here. And then I already stamped my greeting. I have Celebrate on here with I changed colors and went to Coastal Cabana for my flower. And I'm going to use strips at the top and bottom. Again, I want to straddle my ribbon. So put this on here. And then, so I want it down onto my navy. I want it across my ribbon. And the last thing that I want to do, I'm going to use my resin dots, and I want one of each size. And I'm just going to stick with this Coastal Cabana that I focus on. Oh, there's 4 sizes. I thought there was only 3. We're just going to stick with 3, I think. Odd number. That works best. That's a big jump, though. I think it looks too odd doing not doing the 4, not doing the graduated sizes. There we go. There's my last card. So what do you think? Is using those 1-inch scraps worth your time? It might have looked better looking at this now, but I was trying to avoid using extra colored cardstock. It might have looked good if I had pulled in another color from the designer paper, like the Calypso Coral for a background color behind this patchwork stuff. So here's another piece that I also made. I still had pieces left, so I made some skinny pieces and then just these 4, I don't know, just it was what I had left. Let's see, this would be 2 inches by 2.5 or 3. I don't know, 3 I think. So that's it. All right, I'm gonna put this back. I'm gonna put all my all my cards out here so that you can see them. So, thank you so much for joining me today. Remember to share this video, and you'll be entered for a drawing. I'll be giving away half of these cards and mailing half of these cards. I need to mail them to people too. So you can share this video to be entered into the drawing, or you have 2 chances. You can share your cards that you made on my Dazzled by Stamping community group. Here they are. And I'm not sure what, I think I will just draw it on my normal. I have a live, Facebook Live every Wednesday morning. Those are always at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. This one was at 10 because I knew it would take longer. But anyway, so I will do the drawing for both this past week's Facebook Live and then today's live and draw my winners for half of my cards that I made. So, okay. Anybody have questions that's on with me? Thank you, Dina and Jamie and Sherry and Ruth and Sarah. I know they're gone, but thank you for stamping with me. Thanks, Jamie. I had fun with you too. All right, so make sure that you don't just make your cards, but send them out too. find somebody who you want to encourage and say hello to and whatever, and make sure that you send your cards. Oh, I should bring you up. I always bring you up. Just a sec. On upside down, on backwards. Here I am. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Wonderful World Card Making Day. Maybe you're going to go stamp some more. Are you going to do another set of cards? I was thinking I might need to try like a Christmas one. I really wanted to do the plaids, but I don't always like the plaid that's on the back. Like, I don't like them together kind of thing. So I'll have to look at those more closely and see if they'll work or not. So thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful World Card Making Day. And remember, if you want to sign up for my Love of Leaves bundle class, today's the deadline. So I need your payment and your reservation. The class is, I believe it's the 12th. It's a Tuesday. Morning and night I have it. 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. So I will see you later. Thanks. Bye.